Discretion is advised. Your mama black.
This program contains language and sequences some viewers may find disturbing.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
Black women are the worst stewards of children ever.
For the black women in particular who have spent their lifetimes dedicated to nurturing everyone before themselves, we can and will do better for you.
The majority of black women I know are bad people. Not mean that they've done anything to you, but I know they're selfish. And I've watched black women do some of the most horrible things to people who care about them, people who love them, people who help them. I've watched them do some of the most sick and disgusting things to their children. Breaking news, nigga. Breaking news. Your mama black.
Have caught a man who shot and killed an officer in San Antonio. 50-year-old detective Benjamin Marconi was writing a ticket in his police car, just doing his job. He was then shot, execution style, twice in the head. Marconi, one of 4 officers, shot in 4 different cities in this nation in the span of 24 hours. Dan Simon is out front. He is in San Antonio tonight. And Dan, this had been a manhunt. Obviously, just an absolutely horrific thing to imagine someone could do something like this. What do you know right now about the suspect who was arrested?
Will restructure their function and ours.
Well, Aaron, as you can imagine, there is unbearable sadness here in San Antonio, but there is also relief that the suspect has been caught. He has been identified as 31-year-old Otis Tyrone McCain. Police tell us they quickly developed some surveillance, and they actually executed a traffic stop. Inside the vehicle, there was McCain as well as an adult female, as well as a child, a 2-year-old. Police say he was arrested without incident. This is what police had to say just a short time ago.
There are many facets of the case which still need to be investigated. This investigation is by no means over. The motive for the capital murder is still unknown.
So while this active manhunt is over, we still don't know why the suspect targeted this police officer, or if he actually did target this officer. Was there some kind of personal grievance, or was there a grievance against the police department as a whole? That we don't know, Aaron, but as the mayor said tonight, at least the city of San Antonio can breathe a little.
Nobody should ever have to go through something like that, no matter what the situation is. I was honestly shocked that they would decide that this was a place where they wanted to do something like that.
New details tonight of a transgender woman who says she was attacked in a Charlotte park. Derek Horton, who also goes by Raylazia Taylor, is now facing sex crime charges. Investigators say that she performed a sex act on one of her alleged attackers, who is 15 years old. Horton told police Destiny DeGrasse, Dejan Tanner, and a 15-year-old robbed and attacked her with a hatchet near the Arbor Glen Park last Monday. Police say Horton met up with the 15-year-old in the park hours earlier.
What we've learned so far is that this is not a random act of violence, that there was an agreed-upon meeting in the park that day.
Horton is waiting on extradition to Charlotte after being arrested in Cincinnati, Ohio.
1 policeman is dead and 3 more are wounded after 4 shootings in 4 separate U.S. cities. San Antonio, Texas police detective Benjamin Marconi was shot and killed while writing a ticket in his squad car on Sunday morning.
When the suspect reached the driver's side door, he fired a gunshot toward Detective Marconi, striking him in the head.
The 50-year-old Marconi was a 20-year veteran of the San Antonio police force. San Antonio police said they were still looking for a suspect on Monday morning.
We consider this suspect to be extremely dangerous and a clear threat to law enforcement officers and the public.
On Sunday night in St. Louis, a police sergeant was shot twice in the face while in his police car.
At least 2 shots came towards the officer from that car that he can only describe as a silver car right now. The officer says he saw the muzzle flashes and felt the glass breaking in his window as the shots came through and struck him in the head.
The 46-year-old officer was hospitalized in critical condition, but he is expected to survive.
The sergeant is trying to see through his mind if he can remember anything about the driver or any interaction.
Police say officers shot and killed the suspect later in the night after he fired his gun at them. Late Sunday in Sanibel on Florida's southwest coast, a police officer was shot in the shoulder during a traffic stop. That officer was treated and released. Also late Sunday, a police officer was shot in Gladstone, Missouri, near Kansas City. He is expected to survive. The suspect was also shot. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
Tonight, a possible confession tonight, right in front of cameras, by the man accused of gunning down a San Antonio police officer. Fast-moving developments tonight in the investigation into a deadly ambush of a San Antonio police officer.
A suspect is in custody, and tonight, as he was being walked in front of news cameras, he had something to say.
Eyewitness News reporter Pooja Lodia is live in San Antonio with new information. Pooja?
After an extremely tense day here in San Antonio, this suspect did speak to our cameras, and he said sorry.
What were you upset about, sir? Society not letting me see my son. I lashed out at somebody that didn't deserve it. I've been through several custody battles, and I was upset at the situation I was in. I lashed out at somebody that didn't deserve it.
Tonight, the police chief says this department is forever changed.
We made an arrest in the capital murder of Detective Benjamin Marconi.
After a frantic 29-hour manhunt, Otis Tyrone McCain is behind bars. The 31-year-old was captured 15 miles from public safety headquarters while he was riding in a car with a woman and 2-year-old child. Police say they had been watching McCain for hours.
The SWAT team made the traffic stop, felony stop, and no one was injured.
Police say McCain is the man you see in this surveillance video. At 7:47 a.m. yesterday, you can see him pacing around outside. Police say he went in, talked briefly to a clerk, then left. 4 hours later, police say McCain returned, came across Detective Marconi, and shot him twice in the head. Ever since, officers have been told to work in teams and take cover during traffic stops. A policy change that reflects not just the fear inside the department, but the wide-ranging impact of the murder.
There's only two options with a capital murder case. It's either death penalty or life in prison without the possibility of parole in Texas.
Outside the building, community support keeps growing. This is the only way many of us know how to mourn, how to cope.
It's very disturbing. People do not seem to value life. People just do what they want to do. And it's not right.
I want to be a police officer even more now because I see I really look up to these people who are willing to die for people who don't care.
We continue to do our jobs. That's what we swore to do. That's what we were hired to do. That's what's in everybody's hearts to do, and that's what we will do.
Tomorrow, most officers here will go back to working alone. Luckily for them, I can think of a few men and women who have their backs. In San Antonio, Pooja Lodia at 13, Eyewitness
Good
News.
afternoon, I'm Art Rascone. Here is the suspect. This is the man who police say shot a San Antonio police officer in the head. But here's the interesting development here, and this is quite fascinating, extraordinary actually, unheard of. This suspect in the San Antonio police murder got married after the attack and before his capture. That's what the records show. Otis McCain is accused of shooting and killing Detective Benjamin Marconi on Sunday. A marriage license shows he married on Monday, the same day he was captured. We're going to have continuing coverage on ABC13.com, but certainly an interesting development.